sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.
All right, so get ready because we're diving deep.
Oh, yeah.
Into one of the most talked about matches.
Absolutely.
Is the Australian Open. Djokovic versus Alcaraz.
I know.
Quarterfinal, everyone was.
It was electric.
On the edge of their seats. We're going way beyond the headlines.
Yeah.
And the score line to try to understand what made this match
For sure.
so significant. And we've got this incredible play-by-play account from the Hindustan Times live blog.
Yeah.
It is packed with details.
I love that.
Expert insights. I mean, and I'm joined by, well, an actual expert.
Well, I don't know about that, but I'll do my best.
To help break it down, so.
Yeah, this match, I think what was so fascinating about it,
Yeah.
it really felt like a pivotal moment.
Oh, yeah.
You know, in men's tennis,
Totally.
you have Djokovic, a 10-time Australian Open champion,
Right.
facing off against Alcaraz, who's, 21?
I know.
And already a 4-time Grand Slam winner.
It's wild.
Yeah.
It is such a clash of generations. It feels like a king
It does.
defending his throne against like a young challenger.
For sure.
And, I mean, can Alcaraz actually dethrone the king in this match? I mean,
That was the question.
that was the question I had going in.
It's been brewing for a while, I think. You know, especially after he won their last 2 Grand Slam encounters at Wimbledon.
Right.
They met 7 times before this, with Djokovic holding a slight edge overall at 4-3.
Yeah,
But, I mean, you could feel the momentum shifting.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But let's not forget, this is Djokovic's kingdom, the Australian Open. He's dominated here
He has.
like no other player. And for Alcaraz, this was a chance for him to break through
Totally.
that quarterfinal barrier in Melbourne.
It's true. You can feel the weight of all that history.
On both players, I mean,
absolutely.
especially for Alcaraz, who, like you said,
Yeah.
this was his chance to kind of prove himself on a surface
Right.
that Djokovic has been virtually unbeatable on.
Yeah, and I noticed the live blog kept mentioning that they're both being compared to Nadal.
Oh, totally.
Like, they both have this incredible athleticism.
Yeah, true.
This relentless fighting spirit.
Yeah, how much do you think those comparisons play into?
It's got to add another layer to it.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're both
Yeah.
vying for the mantle of Nadal's successor,
It's true.
you know?
Even if it's not explicit.
Yeah, and then if you remember, Djokovic had those shaky moments in the earlier rounds. He dropped some sets,
Yes.
even skipped that post-match interview in protest.
I remember.
So is that vulnerability something that Alcaraz can capitalize on?
Right. Some people saw it as a weakness. Other people were like, oh, this is the savvy veteran conserving energy, you know?
Totally.
Oh.
Maybe playing some mind games a little bit.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows? But then the match begins.
Yeah.
And you see this immediate contrast in styles.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the live blog describes Alcaraz hitting these cheeky forehand shots, pulling off this
love that word.
ridiculous volley that even Djokovic had to kind of like admire, you know?
Yeah.
It was like watching youthful audacity on full display.
Right.
Yeah. And at first, Djokovic seemed to be struggling with Alcaraz's drop shots.
Uh-huh.
The live blog said he was running fast around his half,
Really?
making some uncharacteristic errors. I mean,
Interesting.
were you surprised to see him on the back foot like that?
I mean, it was definitely a sign that Alcaraz came prepared. You know, he was
Yeah.
dictating the pace early on, but I wasn't ready to count Djokovic out just yet.
Right.
You know, this is a player known for
Yeah,
his adaptability, his mental fortitude.
that's a good point. Speaking of mental fortitude, there was that moment where Djokovic took a medical timeout for his groin.
Uh-huh.
Did that strike you as kind of a turning point?
Well, it's interesting you bring that up because timeouts, you know, especially for a veteran like Djokovic, can be a really powerful tool.
Oh, interesting.
Physically, obviously, it allows him to address any nagging injuries, but it also, you know, kind of disrupts the flow of the match.
Right.
Alcaraz had all this momentum. He's suddenly forced to cool down.
Right.
Djokovic has a chance to regroup mentally.
I see.
It's like hitting the reset button.
It is almost like a chess match, you know.
Exactly.
Each player is trying to anticipate the other one's move, and sometimes you need to like pause, reassess the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if you look at what happened after the timeout,
Right.
you see Djokovic really taking control.
Yeah.
I mean, the live blog even mentions this shift in his demeanor, talking about his attacking intent.
Yeah.
It's like he flipped a switch.
It's true.
And went back to the basics.
Okay.
To force errors from Alcaraz.
Yeah. What stood out to you in that second set?
I don't know. What about you? What
I thought was interesting was how Djokovic really seemed to step up his return game.
Right.
You know, in the first set, he was almost passive, letting Alcaraz kind of dictate the points. But in the second set, he started attacking Alcaraz's serve.
Okay.
You know, taking time away from him.
Interesting.
Putting the pressure back on the younger player.
Makes sense.
I actually made a note here where the live blog talks about Djokovic hitting this incredible backhand return winner down the line.
Oh, wow.
It was such a statement shot.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, I'm back in this.
I love that. And that just speaks to Djokovic's ability to, like, adapt his strategy mid-match.
Totally.
Like, he realizes, okay, the drop shots are becoming a problem. I need to adjust my positioning to anticipate them better.
Right.
But it wasn't just physical adjustments. You could sense that change in mentality, too.
Totally. He was more aggressive, more determined to take the initiative away from Alcaraz.
Exactly. And then Alcaraz, you know, he had been so fearless in that first set. Suddenly starts to look a bit rattled.
Yeah, a little bit
like
off.
The weight of the moment.
It's like, oh my gosh.
The realization that he's up against the Novak Djokovic starts to creep in.
It's true.
You know, it's that mental side of the game.
Yes.
I think that often gets overlooked.
For sure.
When you're facing a champion like Djokovic, it's not just about hitting the ball.
Yeah.
It's about battling his aura of invincibility.
Yeah.
All those Grand Slam titles he's won.
Right.
It's a psychological battle as much as a physical one.
It's true.
And for a young player like Alcaraz, that can be incredibly daunting.
Totally. And even though Alcaraz, you know, continued to fight, you could sense that Djokovic had regained control. I mean, the live blog describes him as being clinical in the third and fourth sets.
Okay.
You know, minimizing errors, just wearing Alcaraz down.
That's where the experience comes in.
Right.
Djokovic has been in these high-pressure situations countless times.
So many times.
He knows how to weather the storm.
Yeah.
Stay calm and focused when his opponent is pushing him. Alcaraz is still learning how to navigate those moments.
Right. So after this grueling battle, Djokovic emerges victorious.
He is.
Winning in 4 sets, 4-6, 6-4, 6-3, 6-4.
Wow.
Reaching his 50th Grand Slam semifinal.
That's amazing.
I mean, it's an incredible achievement.
It is.
But I think this match was about more than just the final score.
Absolutely. I think if you look beyond the result, this is a story of resilience, adaptability, and the mental toughness that separates the champions from the contenders.
Yes.
Djokovic, even when he was down early, never lost belief in himself.
Yeah.
And he found a way to adjust his game.
It's true.
To neutralize Alcaraz's strengths.
It's true. I love that quote from Alcaraz where he says, Djokovic, it seems like he's young again.
I know.
I mean, it speaks volumes.
It does.
About Djokovic's longevity and the challenge that he presents to that younger generation.
And Djokovic himself likened his matches with Alcaraz to his epic battles with Nadal.
Yeah.
It's almost as if he sees Alcaraz as the heir apparent, the one who will carry the torch forward.
So is this the beginning
It begs the question.
of a new era?
Is this the beginning of a new era of rivalry in men's tennis?
That's the million-dollar question.
It is.
And I guess only time will tell. Okay, so we've really unpacked this epic quarterfinal clash, I guess, between Djokovic and Alcaraz at the Australian Open. But what does this all mean for the future of men's tennis? I mean, is Alcaraz really ready to step into that role, like as the main challenger?
Well, I mean, he pushed Djokovic to 4 sets.
Right.
Which not many players can do.
No.
It really is a testament to his talent, his potential. He's got the game, the physicality, the shot-making ability to be a dominant force.
Yeah.
But as we saw in this match, there's still a gap. And it's a mental one.
Okay.
He needs to develop that unwavering belief that he can beat Djokovic.
Okay.
Especially in those crucial moments of a match.
Yeah. And that belief, that mental edge, it's something that Djokovic just has in spades.
He does.
Remember, he was down a set in this match, but he never panicked.
Right.
Stayed patient, stuck to his game plan, and found a way to turn it around.
That's what separates the champions from the contenders.
I know, and it makes me think of that quote from the Live blog where Djokovic is comparing his battles with Alcaraz to the ones he had with Nadal. Like, he sees a little bit of Nadal and Alcaraz.
Totally.
That same fighting spirit.
Yeah.
That refusal to back down.
I think so.
So do you think this could be the start of a rivalry?
It could be.
That defines the next decade of men's tennis.
I mean, it has all the ingredients.
Right.
Contrasting styles, clashing personalities, a generational divide. But for it to truly reach those epic proportions, Alcaraz needs to take that next step. He needs to not just challenge Djokovic, but to beat him consistently in the biggest stages.
So are we saying this is a passing of the torch situation?
It's too early to tell.
Okay.
I mean, Djokovic, even at his age, he is showing no signs of slowing down. He's incredibly fit, still motivated, and he's adapted his game to stay ahead of the curve.
That's true.
But what this match showed us is that the gap is closing.
Yeah.
Alcaraz, along with this new generation of players, are pushing him, forcing him to raise his level.
It's almost like they're pushing each other to become even better.
And that's exciting to see.
As a fan of tennis, I agree.
This is what makes sports so compelling, right?
Yeah.
You have these individual battles, these moments of brilliance, but they're also part of a larger narrative.
Okay.
A story that unfolds over time. And in men's tennis right now, the story is one of transition, a changing of the guard.
I like that. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with this thought.
Okay.
Keep watching these two progress, Djokovic and Alcaraz. I mean, their rivalry, their individual journeys, they're a microcosm of what's happening in men's tennis right now.
Totally.
It's a time of uncertainty, of excitement, and of a new generation ready to make its mark on the sport.
For sure.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.